Hello, my name is Ruth Vasquez. I am currently a registered nurse at Oswego Hospital. I work in the maternity department as a labor and delivery nurse, and I'm also a student in the Family Nurse Practitioners program at SUNY Upstate Medical University. Once obtaining my master's degree, I hope to become a primary care provider in a rural area. The purpose of this video is to present to you a tour of a particular website that displays resources that are available for patients and their families whom are suffering of a chronic illness. The chronic illness that I have chosen to present is epilepsy. This is a chronic neurological disorder that has no cure and is manifested in different types of seizures ranging from violent muscle spasms to loss of consciousness. I became interested in this topic after a close coworker of mine suffered of an epileptic episode while at work about 5 years ago, and it became a life-changing experience for her and her family. I personally have only witnessed very few epileptic episodes in my career, and for this reason, I would like to learn more about this disorder and what it entails. Chronic illnesses not only affects the individual that is suffering from it, but it also involves family as a whole. As Utz, Berg, and Butner explained in their 2016 article titled "It's a Family Affair: Reflections about Aging and Health Within a Family Context," every family member has a position in the care of the individual with the illness. It is considered a family affair because everyone collaborates with one another to impose decisions such as treatments, care, finances, etc. As for my friend, once she suffered an epileptic episode, she could no longer work the night shift that she was once working, and it took her over a year to go back to driving a vehicle again. Her family had to do a lot of shuffling in their daily activities to accommodate her needs, such as transportation and everything that it involved with her new medications. The website that I'm going to utilize for this video tour is from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, with the URL address of medlineplus.gov, which was produced by the United States National Library of Medicine. According to the Source Educational Evaluation Rubrics, or SEER, this website has a score of 4.0 for credibility and reliability. As we can see here on the score, for authoritative, it's highly credible because this site has referenced to and linked by others. Educational value, because its site is a leading source of content that exceeds educational goals. Its intent is highly respected. Originality, it's a site of primary source of original content. And its quality, it's a site of high quality, and it has enough content that is provided to establish good coverage. So the rubric score is 4.0 and the rubric percentage 100%. So medlineplus.gov is a wonderful go-to website to learn more about epilepsy because it is very user-friendly. It's easy to navigate. As we can see, this website has many helpful resources and links, as it starts off with the index tab here with its basics, indicating the summary, where to start, diagnosis and tests, treatments and therapies. In its summary area, it gives a brief overview of what epilepsy is all about and what it entails. If you're diagnosed with epilepsy and you don't even know where to begin, you can go to these links where it goes about epilepsy. If you click on it, it takes you to a link at the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs where there's more information on epilepsy, what seizures are, epilepsy versus seizures, first aid, what to do when you have a seizure, the causes of epilepsy, and so on. But going back to Medline Plus, it also gives you more links on the diagnostic tests that involves with coming to a diagnosis of epilepsy. Also, treatments and therapies that can be considered for this disorder. And if you're living with epilepsy, how to manage epilepsy, there's a link where you can follow into the Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention, managing with this disorder, what people can do for self-management, if you're a caregiver, what you can do. And there are also support groups that you can find in the CDC website. If you go to this link to here, it says Find Support page. If you have any questions, there's a helpline 24/7. It can also take you to a community support forum from the Epilepsy Foundation. If we click there. And in this forum from the foundation, you can get involved in the community forums. You can chat with others who have epilepsy or are their family member have the disorder and how they manage with this disorder. So if we go back to Medline Plus, there are more links on related issues of epilepsy, specific disorders of this neurological specific disorders of epilepsy. Also, epilepsy is correlated with genetics disorder, and here are many links to specifics on the genetic spectrum. If you want to learn more about a particular syndrome that causes epilepsy, you can always click on that particular tab, such as, for example, here it says Ring Chromosome 14 Syndrome. If you click on there, it will take you to that genetics home reference of the U.S. National Library of Medicine, and it will tell you all about this particular syndrome, how it's come about, causes, inheritance, and so on and so forth on that particular syndrome for epilepsy. If we continue on, there are also research and statistics on epilepsy. If we click here on this tab for epilepsy under the statistics and research, here it gives you what has been found on this epileptic disorder, what is currently going about this disorder, and what the future holds, and what they wish to obtain in the research studies for this disorder. There are also clinical trials that you can get involved if you wish, if you have this disorder. If you click on that tab, you go to the clinicaltrials.gov, and here it gives you a list of the studies that are being taken place, where they're being taken place at, and if you click on any of these studies, for example, cerebral autoregulation in patients with epilepsy, if you click on that study, it will give you more detail on what this study entails and if you could be a candidate to participate in this study, what they're measuring, and eligibility. This website also has journal articles if you would like to read up more information about epilepsy. If you're looking for a doctor, you can also click on this link to find a doctor. This tab takes you to the American Epilepsy Society, where you can put in your personal information of where you live, and it will give you the nearest physician who attends or specialist who attends epileptic patients. Information of children, teenagers, and women with epilepsy. I'd like to focus here on a patient handouts on the epilepsy tab for the medical encyclopedia. This tab takes you on an overview of epilepsy with more description on what this disorder is and the causes of it. Some common causes of epilepsy, they include stroke, dementia, traumatic brain injury, and when the ages that it usually begins between 5 and 20, ages 5 and 20. Symptoms that are involved with epilepsy, as it says here, it varies from person to person, but there are also different types of seizures that occur with epilepsy, such as absence or petit mal seizure, generalized tonic-clonic or grand mal seizure, or partial focal seizure. Again, exams and tests are indicated here to come about with the diagnosis of epilepsy, treatments, and again you have here support groups that you can be involved with if you're experiencing or your family members experiencing this disorder. What to expect with epilepsy, possible complications, and when to contact a medical professional if a seizure occurs. Things to do to prevent seizures, and more instructions on specifics of epilepsy. But if we go back to the support group again, and we click on that link that is highlighted, this takes you within the Medline Plus more resources on epilepsy, for example, the foundation. If we click on that, it takes you back to the foundation where you can get more involved with the community or with others who suffer this disorder. So when initiating a search for information about epilepsy, MedlinePlus.gov is a good place to start because it provides links of highly reputable sites that have reliable information about this disorder, including links to support groups and the foundation itself if you want to get involved. If you're a person suffering from this disorder or your loved one is suffering, this website is worth a try to commence your journey of learning all about this neurological disorder. I hope this video was helpful and it gives you more insight on epilepsy and where to begin on navigating this website of MedlinePlus.gov. Thank you for watching.